So I just explained to you the mechanics and what's happening to the body in order for us to achieve this overhead position. Now, you'll start seeing this more and more, even if I was using the arms to flip my opponent, which in future series you'll see me perform this with the arms. But right now we're sticking to collar and ankle because this is the type of De La Riva we're playing, okay? So basically what you learned in the previous lesson, whenever my weight is on my feet, they put any weight of their arms onto our body. We're able to transfer their weight to their arms, making their legs very light. And once their legs are very light, we're able to flip them. And we're constantly going to be doing this in this lesson. We're constantly going to be able to figure out how can we get their weight off of their feet, remove it from their feet to bring it to their hips. And once it's on their hips, once it's on their hips, we're transferring their weight to their arms. That is how we're that is how we're managing to flip our opponent. But then once we flip them, they're going to land on top of us. This is going to be an opportunity for people that feel that they cannot invert or do anything to berimbolo. This is my favorite berimbolo. I probably hit this the most in competition out of all the berimbolos I do because I don't have to invert when I do this. I feel like it's so easy, and I feel like the person just lands right inside your lap and you're able to just apply the perfect basic berimbolo. Now, if you're unfamiliar with berimbolo and you haven't seen my first berimbolo series, please watch that. That will make you way more understanding of what's happening with these leg positionings. You know, they could be very complex and complicated for people that haven't seen that series, but once you've seen it, you'll understand how to do everything very easy. But this is going to be the easiest way to berimbolo because you don't have to invert at all, okay? And basically, I'm going to give you the option for berimbolo, but like I explained before, I'm going to give you the option to sweep as well. And I'm doing this because every time my opponent falls on the floor, I have many options. I can attack the berimbolo system. I can attack a footlock. I can attack a sweep. If we end up with the sweep one, we're going to end up in the passing systems. And in future series, I'll be showing many variations of passing systems that the application and concepts that we will use in these series will be identical to the ones that we play in guard. Because guard and top are the same. That is why I explain everything like I am. Okay? So I'm going to review how I flip my opponent, but I also want you guys to start seeing how I'm going to flip her when she's in family 2. Which is with the collar and leg grip, okay? I personally think it's even easier to flip my opponent if they have some upper body control. Why is that? Because when they have control of my upper body, I'm able to bring them more forward. So there's more volume on her body leaning forward, meaning her legs are going to be lighter, okay? So it is easier if she is controlling the collar and ankle. Okay, so let's begin. So first go Toriyano grips. I'm going to start here in De La Riva. My foot is going to be on her shoulder again. Why is it on the shoulder? I'm going to keep repeating this to force myself to place myself in the perfect body positioning, right? So I'm going to be here. I'm going to hold the collar here. I'm going to do the application of the thumb, turning my thumb like this. So my thumb is like this. I just turn it like this to bring her shoulders to me. Once I do this, I'm going to bring her weight off of her toes onto her knees and hips. Once I do this, I'm going to lift up, pushing her down, and she's going to post her hand. I'm going to make her look the other way, and she's going to fall right here. Right? So now come back. Now, what's going to happen? She's going to be in family 2 of the berimbolo system. She's going to be holding my collar and my ankle this time. Okay? Now, why is this amazing if she's doing this? Look how much more she's leaning than before. Go back to Toriyano grips, please. Look at the difference. Where's your weight right now? Your arms and feet a little bit, right? Now I got my collar. Where's your weight?
Most of my arms.
Like way more in your arms, right? That is why it's even easier to perform this position when she's controlling my upper body. I love when they put any grips on my upper body because now it's easy to flip them. Okay? And you'll even see people that play sit-up guard a lot. Here, they love when people control their upper body because that's when they start going to all the flips. Because there's weight on their upper body. Look how easy it is. Her head is already so much higher. Her base is already so much more up, right? So I'm going to be in Dala Hiva. I'm going to be here. I'm going to get to the Dala Hiva here. She's going to have control on her arm and her leg. All I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the thumb grip to bring her body and her shoulder to my shoulder. I'm going to bring my knees to my chest. I'm going to do the same thing as before, you see. But I feel like it's so much lighter because there is a significantly greater amount of weight on her arms now because of this collar grip. Now I bring her knees to my chest, and now I'm going to make her look the other way. I'm going to bring her to this spot right here. So how are we going to do the basic berimbolo? What we're going to do is I'm going to remove my collar grip and I'm going to grab in the middle of her body. Why is that? Because now my bicep and my shoulder is controlling on top of her hip. So my hand, this hand right here, is on top of her hip. Okay? What am I going to do? This foot is going to be hooking her shoulder. It's going to be beating down, like so. I'm going to be beating my foot down on her leg, like so. You see, all I'm going to have to do is bring my knees to my chest and lift her body up. I'm going to use my legs to pull her up, like this. Moving her butt on top of my body. You see? So go back. So look. People will say, oh, berimbolo is so hard. My arms get so tired. My legs get so tired. It's because you're not using one or the other. We have to be able to use our whole body to do berimbolo. That is when she's really light. So a drill I explained in the first berimbolo system is not using my arms and just pulling her shoulder to me like here and lifting up her body like this. 1. Here. 2. And look how my knee is constantly getting above her hip. So her body is sitting on top of my hip, you see? So we're here. I beat down the legs. So I'm beating this foot down like if I'm doing an armbar, okay? This foot is pulling her shoulder to me. I'm bringing her body on top of me like so. Once I get here, look how I'm able to bring my leg up, my knee on top, my shin goes down. Now I'm able to bring her hips below my hips, stretching her body. And now I'm able to bring my head above her head and attack the back. Okay? I have about 1 billion positions I do in berimbolo. And in my berimbolo system series, you'll see so many positions. So if you want to learn more about berimbolo, please check out that series. And that will make you understand what's happening way more. But for now, I want you to just understand this basic berimbolo. You know, it's very important, this basic berimbolo, because they're landing right there anyway. So why not attack the back if you can, right? And remember what I said about posting. If you lay down, please. In the first part of the Dala Hiva system, when she posted her arms on the floor. No, I'm sweeping you, so it's just, come up. If her butt's on the floor, I can sweep her. She posts her hands on the floor, and she takes her foot off the floor. Now take your butt off the floor. She's able to take her butt off the floor, right? So she has the option of taking her butt off the floor with her post, and she also has the option of turning away from me. So now turn, no. How could you turn that way? Look. If you turn this way, look at your knee. Your knee opens. So you have to turn this way. Yes. You see? She's able to turn away from me with her post. Why is that? Because she's able to keep her butt off the floor. When I flip her and she's posting her hands, what is she doing? She's turning away from me and she's keeping her butt off the floor. And remember, every time the opponent's butt is off the floor, I can expose the back. Because the connection of my hips to their hips is super easy if their butt is off the floor. And that is what I'm doing with the basic berimbolo. I'm using her weight on her arms to make it easier for me to bring my hips under her hips, to connect my hips to her hips, than to bring my head above her head to accomplish the berimbolo, to take the back, right? So stand up, please. So I'm here. I'm in this spot here. And here, I grab the collar, and she's holding my collar like this, right? All I do is this. Her weight's on her toes a little bit. I'm just going to bring my knees to my chest. I'm going to be here. My foot's on her hip. I'm going to pull the shoulder to me. I'm going to lift her up. I'm going to flip her. I'm going to stretch her body, and I'm going to end up right here. I'm going to beat down this leg as if I'm doing an arm bar. I'm going to use my foot in her shoulder to pull her shoulder to me more. I'm going to use my hand on the back of her body. So I let go of the collar. I can perform this position with the collar, but I prefer to switch to the back because if she falls, I have better options and stuff with the back, okay? So I beat down, I control the back of her spine. I'm going to control under her knee. I'm going to use my feet and legs to bring her up, to get her butt on top of me like so. Once I do this, my knee goes on top of her body. Now I bring my leg under. I'm going to cup her hip. I'm going to stretch her back here. I'm going to bring her lower. Lower. Why? because now I can get my head above her head. And now I can establish the back. Okay? And this motion will look like this if I did it fast. Watch. I'm here. You see? When I do it fast, you see how she drops right into my lap? That is how we use her weight against her. We're using gravity against her. Because when I lift her up and put all her weight in her arms, she's keeping her weight in her arms, and then when she falls, she has to fall. She falls in my lap. So that is why this is a very, very cool position to utilize in competition and in training, because they're already in the air. They're already their weights on their arms. And they're not falling. They're using their post to stay up. And in our rules of posting, they can stay up like this, no problem. Or they can post and go here, right? Both scenarios, they're keeping their butts off the floor because the elbow is not broken. They're keeping their frame in their arm, their post in their arm. So now we're going around their post again to take their back, right? Because we're not breaking their post. We're accepting it. Great post. But now we're forcing them to turn the other way. And once they have that post the other direction, we're able to establish back control. And that is what I'm doing with the berimbolo here. So again, I'm here. My foot's on the hip. I'm in this spot here. I'm going to pull her shoulder forward. I'm going to use my foot on her hip. I'm going to bring my knees to my chest like so. Once I do this, I'm going to lift up. I'm going to flip her. She's going to post her hand on the floor. Look. So because she's posting her hand on the floor, where does that put me? That puts me in the perfect spot to take her back, because I'm not going to let her butt touch the floor. That is why when I go here, touch your butt to the floor. She can't now because I let her body get on top of me. That is what I'm doing here. I make it that if she's going to fall, now she's on top of me. She can't fall. So I pull her forward. I bring my knee in front of her knee. My knee is here. Look, this is a very important detail when I do this. Look how my knee goes here because now fall. You see, my knee is sitting on her like a I don't know what it's called, but that thing where the thing sits on it in the car.
Table?
What?
A table?
No, it's like a table, but okay, I'll remember after. But she's sitting on my leg like a table. That's fine. I bring my leg up. I cut my leg. I stretch her down, and now I'm able to establish back control. My head above her head. So she sides. I'm here. She's holding the collar. I bring my knees to my chest. I pull their shoulders to me. So elbow open, shoulders to me. I lift up, I flip. I catch her back as I flip her up. I beat down, I bring her body to me, moving my knee to this part of her body. Now look at her, look how her butt's on top of me. My main goal in berimbolo, I have to bring her butt below me. So 1, 2, I stretch her. Now I could take the back. So back. I'm here. Here, I'm going to flip you. I'm going to do one motion, okay? This is how it would look if it's real motion. See? You see how smooth it is? That's exactly how it will be in real time. Because you're just using their weight. They fall on you and you just take the back, okay? Now, I'm going to show you the alternative. I'm going to show you how you could accomplish a sweep instead of doing a berimbolo. Even though you're not using any flexibility to invert or anything, I will always give you many options in positions because I want you to have every possible alternative, okay? Maybe you don't like berimbolo. Maybe you just don't want to do anything with berimbolo, right? So I'm going to give you an option right now to avoid having to use berimbolo in this scenario, okay? So if I was flipping her with the collar and I flipped her, she wouldn't be able to post, so I'd be able to sweep her to top, right? But because I don't have control of her arms, I can't flip her to mount the same way, right? Because I don't have a grip on her arms. I only have her ankle and collar, right? So what I'm going to do is, when I'm here, I'm going to pull her forward. I'm going to flip her. I'm going to end up here. I'm going to push her down with my legs. And once I get her down here, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring my leg down like so. I'm going to bring my legs down like so. And I'm either going to do 2 options. The first option, I'm going to fit my head inside her body like so. I'm going to control her collar with this arm. And I'm going to come up. the top position like here. Now I'm in half guard, right? And over under half guard. So now I have the option of passing with a folding pass. I have an option of over under passing. I have so many options once I get to that spot, right? So come back. From here, double hiva. She's putting weight on me. I bring her forward. I flip her. I get her here. Instead of going for the berimbolo, I'm just gonna stretch my legs. And it's really easy for me to stretch her here, okay? So now I just bring my leg down like this. I take my legs, I bring them both down. I'm gonna make a space with my head in between her head and go here. Now, if my arm wasn't here, I could get triangled, right? So it's important I keep this leg trapped. I bring my leg, I can even hold the leg here if I want. Just get my head inside her legs. I come up to here, you see? Once I come up, I have over or under. I have half guard. If she locks her legs here, I have half guard where I can pass here. I have all of my passing options, which we'll do in future systems, right? But it's just understanding how to get up here. So come back. But again, you see there's zero flexibility. We can work around berimbolo. We don't have to do berimbolo. Come here. Double hiva. I bring my knees to my chest. I flip her. I'm going to sweep her down. I get here. Once I get here, I'm going to take my bottom leg. I'm going to take it out. Once I take it out, if she starts trying to hold my leg, look at my head. The second I get my head inside and she tries to hold my leg, look where I end up. You see, it makes it even worse for her because now my elbow is under her armpit like so. So now try to put me in guard. You see? So again, I'm here in double hiva. Pull my collar and leg. I bring my knees to my chest. I'm gonna flip her. I'm gonna sweep her down. Once I sweep her down, I'm gonna bring my legs in. I'm gonna make sure my head goes inside her legs like so. Here. You see? Now I could get the collar. I could come up over under. Or if I can, I could even go to the back of her body and end up in this pass right here. I believe Marcel Garcia used to pass everyone's guard with this pass with the arm behind the body here and kicking out, right? So again, I'm here. I'm going to bring my knees to my chest. I'm going to overhead sweep her. I'm going to end up here. I'm going to bring her butt to the floor. Now remember, her butt is already on the floor. So what was the rules of sweeping someone? The rules of sweeping someone was we just need to get their butt to the floor. We're in the berimbolo system right now. Even though you might not want to be here, you are, right? So we're in the berimbolo spot. So I could simply take out my legs, put my head in to fit my head in, and come up. Another option I'm going to give you, instead of bringing your head in, I'm going to come here, I'm going to bring my hand to her body like so. I'm going to come on my knees like so, and now look where I end up. Even though my head is on the outside, my elbow's on the inside. So now it's going to be easy again to pass to north-south position here. Okay, so the grip is just going to vary a little bit. So come up, please. I'm here. I'm just giving you many alternatives to come up here. You could choose whichever one you prefer, okay? So I bring the knees to chest, I flip. I sweep her down. I go here. Now, I can control the leg, try to get my head in. If I can get my head in, great, great. If I can't get my head in, also fine. I just bring my hip under her. Now I can take a step back. If I want, I can bring my knee on top of her hip like so. Now I can take a step back. You see, I have so many options in this spot. Another alternative we could do, stand up please. So when we're here, I flip her, I bring her here, I sweep her down. Another alternative, I could use the knee wedge going here. And now look at her legs, how they're away from her body. I drag her leg. I could control the collar. I could come up in a leg drag. In the berimbolo leg drag system, you'll learn all these positions, how to take the person's back when we're in this spot right here. We have like a billion positions from here, right? So you're getting, this is going to maybe trigger in your mind, like, wait a second, I can do berimbolo because you don't have to invert at all. Go on, lay down. Let me flip you. Like, look at my motion of my body when I do this. Look, I stretch and I end up here. My leg is just on my head like this, right? So the only thing that's on me is my leg and my leg like this. Now come on, go on one knee. Just this leg, yeah. There's more weight on me when I'm in single leg X than when I'm doing berimbolo, when I do it like this. You see, because look how our weight's on my chest. So if you're able to do single leg X, you should be able to do this position. Like, it's really that simple. There's no pressure on my neck now. I'm just using my arms and legs. You see, so stand up. So this might trigger in your mind that you can do berimbolo without having to do anything to get there, you know? And you'll start seeing that there's so many spots, half guard, knee shield, a reverse de la Riva, that you could end up in berimbolo situations without having to invert or anything. Because it's just all the same rules of posting. If the person's posting their arms, we're following our sweep rules and posting rules. That if they stay up, they turn to us, they keep their butt off the floor, we can take their back. It doesn't matter what position we're in when they do the posting. It's gonna be all different scenarios and spots, and that's why you could use berimbolo without having to invert at all, because they're following those rules of posting. You see, so that is a great alternative for you to do berimbolo. It's honestly my favorite way to do berimbolo. I don't like to invert. I prefer to bring the person on top of me like this because it requires nothing. It just requires a simple knowledge of the principles of transferring the weight of one part of your body to the other part of their body, right? So again, put me here. I bring her weight on top of me, I flip her. I end up here. I end up in this spot, right? So if I want, I go basic berimbolo. I beat down here. I just bring her knees to my body. Look, the only spot that could be uncomfortable, her body on my chest. But because I have my knee here, her body's not on me, look. You see? That is why when I stretch, I'm able to keep the back. I'm just using gravity against her, right? So again, this way. I'm here. I go here, bring my knees to my chest, I flip her. Now I sweep her down. So I have two options here. One, I start coming up here, getting my head. I remove her knee from the pass box. I get my head inside her body. Now I come up here. Now I can go to their head. I can switch my arm under her body. If she grabs my leg when I'm in this spot here, I can put my head in front of her and still put pressure on her here. Look, it makes it easier for me to pass. You see? I can also, when I'm here, put my hand on the behind her body like so, bring my knees to the floor, ending up in this half guard spot, where I can bring my knee under her body, where I can bring my knee here, and I have just so many passing options once I land in this spot. I could also, if you can stand up, when I'm here and I flip her, I can also, when she falls, bring my leg out, go to a leg drag. What is a leg drag? A leg drag is just me removing my inside leg from her leg. How do I do this? I can use my knee to do this with the knee wedge. You learn this all in the berimbolo series. You can use your arm to do this. You learn as an arm wedge. I can use a crab ride hook to do this. But all of them accomplish the same thing. Now I'm in the leg drag, right? So I could drag her here. I could, if I want to get technical and do all the things, I could start going twister hook. I can start going top berimbolo. I could roll again and start going back to twister hook and combining all the things from the berimbolo system, right? So it gives us so many more options. So come back up. I'm here. Pull her on top of me, I sweep her. I get her here. Another option I could do is I could sweep her forward like this. I can take my leg out and try to go to mount, like so. The only problem you're gonna have with this option is you might land in single leg X here. And there's nothing wrong with landing in single leg X. If I land on top here, put your foot on my hip, please. There's nothing wrong with landing in single leg X. It's just understanding how to pass single leg X. A lot of times when I do berimbolo, you'll see me actually sweep people into single leg X. And I like playing top in single leg X. If you understand how to defend feet exposure, how to understand the foot attacks here. It's very easy to play on top of single leg X because we have all our options here. We have all our options here. We have so many different things we could do when our opponent goes to single leg X. So I use that sometimes to sweep people, okay? But it's not preferred because you're landing in a spot that they can sweep you back, right? So come back up, please. So I'm here. I pull her forward, I flip her. I sweep her this way. If I want to, I can use my leg like this, the side of my knee. I take my leg out. I start coming up here. The problem is the knee could come in. If the knee comes in, I just recommend not letting this foot go to the hip. You see? If I can, I'll move my foot back. I'll push this down. I'll bring my other leg in and start clearing the legs to the pass. I'll be doing a future lesson on how to pass single leg X. I'll be doing all these concepts because I'm going to teach them from top, bottom, everywhere. Because I want you to understand how to play top and bottom the same. You see, it is all the same. Okay, so come back up. Here. Flip her. End up here. So instead of going this way, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up the other way. I just shoot my hips up. I'm just going to come up to here. You see. If I can, I'm going to land here for sure and try to go to mount. The knee comes in. I just recommend not letting this foot go to my hip. Because once this foot goes to the hip, she has another frame. So we want to eliminate the frames before they happen. And then bringing my foot back here is very valuable here, very good. And now I can start working for other passes here to pass the guard. Okay? So one more time fast. I'm here. Here. So again, we're using the posting principles of our opponent against them. It's so important now that you're starting to see how posting hands always will happen when they're playing top. It might be on the floor, it might be on the body, but we're using the posting hands to either, one, bend their elbows. If we could bend their elbows, we could sweep them. Two, if we cannot bend their elbows, we're manipulating ourselves to angle around them. Which, what are we doing now? We're angling around them, right? And once we angle around them, we can take the back. So you'll learn that you could do this everywhere in Jiu-Jitsu. All the different guards, you could do this. And that is why berimbolo is applicable for everyone. Because once you have an understanding of being able to angle yourself around somebody's post, their butt's already off the floor, you're going to be able to end up in berimbolo. And you're doing it without even having to move your neck. Which is amazing, right? Like, you don't have to move your neck for berimbolo. But at the same time, I'm giving you guys options that you don't have to go to berimbolo. You could sweep your opponent, you see. So I'm making it that everyone can do this. There's no reason you can't go to the sweep. There's no reason you can't do the berimbolo, you know. I really want you guys to try to practice and try to do berimbolo. And this might change your conception of berimbolo because you could see, wow, I have zero pressure on me. It's like playing X guard. It's like playing single leg X, right? So it is a very good spot to start adding to your game. And again, you're learning now misdirections of the posting to get around the person. And once you're around them, you're learning all the basic principles that we learned in our berimbolo system. And if you want to continue learning the berimbolo positions, please check out my berimbolo system. That's where you'll learn all the attacks, all the options that you could do from there when we're doing berimbolo. Because I only showed you one basic position. There's 10 billion positions in that system, you know. And now you maybe will be able to do it because it's putting it together with all the other things. So that is why I did it how I did it today. And that is why now I hope that you could start seeing that berimbolo isn't that bad, because there's literally no inversion on your neck. And this is the one I use most out of every berimbolo I do. This is the one I do the most. So it is really easy to do and so highly applicable in competition and training. So I want you guys to work this now, and I want you to practice the sweeps also, because it is important to know how to sweep. I don't want you to just know how to take the back. Even though taking the back when the person defends to give you the sweep, I want you to be able to combine everything together. That is how you guys will be so technically well sound everywhere. That is my goal, for you guys to be able to sweep the person, for you guys to be able to berimbolo the person, for you guys to be able to attack the foot of the person. All these options are valuable once their butts touch the floor. And they're defending the butt touching the floor by posting. And now we can berimbolo them without having to invert, okay? So I want you to work this now, and we're going to move on to the next position. Okay, so now that we have the concept of how to overhead sweep our opponent, and I gave you some good attacks, what I'm going to show you now is a variation of the overhead that I like to use when my opponent tries to knee cut me. Now, the knee cut is probably one of the most common defenses to the De La Riva. And basically, they push on your leg, they try to step over, and they go knee cut. So in this series now, I'm going to show you how I like to deal with the knee cut, and when they do this, how I'm able to expose the overhead on them. And you're going, it's going to feel so easy to do this whenever the person tries to go knee cut, okay? So how does the person on top knee cut? Lay down, please. So when I'm on top in De La Riva, for the person to knee cut, they have to bring their leg forward a little bit, right? And once they bring their leg forward a little bit, they step over and they go here. You see how my knees are together like so? You see? I've seen a lot of people teach when you're here to stay here, and then when the person kicks up this leg, I think that this is not the best option to do. The people I teach to kick this up and bring me this way. The reason being is every time they kick this up, I could drop my knee inside the body here. So now I'm getting into a tight folding pass. So I feel like it's wrong for the person on bottom if I get here to start doing the kick up to make me post. Because the high level guys, whenever you do this, they put their knee inside the leg. Someone throw me up now, my hip falls, and now I'm in a tight pass. So I really do not like to kick the person up when I get into the knee cut. I feel like it's wrong. And plus you're pulling the person on top of you. So now I just trapped the leg, and now I can pass the guard here. You see? So I don't teach to kick the person up ever, because I still don't have my frame. When she's here and she does this, she doesn't have her frame anymore, you see? So when I go like this, lift me up, you see how I just fall right into a pass? That is why this is not the best option here. The best option will be following our rules of playing guard. And what are our rules of playing guard? When I start getting over this leg, she's going to bring her knee to her chest. You see? Now, once her knee's over her chest, it makes it way harder for me to stay over this leg. And so I'm here, she's fighting to get her foot out of between my legs, you see? That is what I'm doing when I'm playing guard, always. Whenever anyone grabs anything, I'll bring my knees to my chest, circle it. When you kick the person up, look how she's removing her knee line from her body. Remember what I said about the pass box? Always when your knee's on your chest, you have a pass box. When you remove it, you lose the pass box. So when I step over here and she kicks up, look how the pass box is gone right now. You see? So this is wrong to do, lifting the person up there. Okay, so when I'm on top, how the person's going to drill doing the knee cut, they're just going to be like this. 1, step over. You have the collar too, no problem. 1, step over. I just need you to have some upper body control, you see? This is all we're doing for the person on top. So now, stand up please. So now I'm going to be in De La Riva. I'm going to be this way. I'm going to be here. The person's going to step over. So as I just explained, if I kick up and try to make her move, look, she can bring your knee in. Bring your knee inside my leg. This knee inside. Yes. Now look, as I'm lifting her, look how it does nothing. And all the top black belts respond to the kick up like that. Okay? So this, I don't want you guys to think to do that ever. That's a mistake to do that, to kick the person up. Instead, what we're going to do is this. When I get to the De La Riva, she steps over. I'm going to do this. Oh, just change sides a second, please. So when her foot is up all the way here, notice what I'm going to do. She stepped over. I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow the rules I taught you in the first part of the De La Riva system. And what was that? When the foot's higher than me, I'm going to use my knee. I'm going to move myself back a little bit. As I move myself back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my foot in a very particular spot. So I explained the overhead before was my foot staying on the ASIS and sitting it on top of her body. What we're doing now is I'm going to sit her body on top of her belly button. Why am I going to the belly button? So I'm always focusing on different parts of the body when I'm doing my positions. What do I like about the belly button? The belly button is directly in the middle of both legs. If I sit her body directly on top of her belly button, if I place my foot and sit her body directly on top, I have equal weight distribution of both parts of her body. So it's a spot that I really like to utilize when I do all the different positions. If you watch the Berimbolo system, you'll see that in the Berimbolo system, even when I do the knee wedge, I teach to put the knee into the belly button and put pressure into the belly button because it's directly in the middle of both parts of my body. It's kind of similar to close guard, how they say to put your hand on the sternum, right? It's directly in the middle of the body. That belly button is identical concept, the same pressure. So that's why I like to place my foot always in the belly button in this scenario. Because once I place my foot equally weight distribution, the person standing like this, all their power is centered, you see? So now when I lift them, it's very powerful, okay? So that's why I'm placing my foot in the belly button. If I went on one side of her body, it could be strong, but I don't have a certain percentage of her weight is gonna be off of me, right? If I go to the other part of the body, I can't do that because
Wouldn't I just be able to put my weight on the other side, like down, too?
No, what I'm saying is if I put my foot on this part of your body, you're gonna leg drag me. See, so I can't do this. If I do this, it could be powerful. It can be powerful because I can lift you like before. But if I put my foot in the middle of her hip, now look. See how strong this is? Because it's directly in the middle of her body. So this is gonna be an option for even the overhead sweep for before, the belly button.
What part of your foot are you putting in the belly button? Are you putting your toes? Are you putting...
I'm putting this part of my foot in your belly button because you're leading, so step
but
up.
where do you want like your foot on the belly button? What part of the foot do you want on top of on the belly button?
I just put my heel like this part of my foot.
So like right under the toe.
It's like a table, so it sits on me. You see? That's how I'm getting her to sit on me here. So we're gonna do this again. She's gonna step over. She's gonna get here. So the first thing I need you guys to realize, if I remove my knee from my body, she's going to have a space to pass me. The pass box. Again, lay down, please. In case you did not watch the first part of this series, what is the pass box? The pass box is when her knees remove from her chest and her elbows here. This is a pass box. How she closes the pass box is bringing her knee to her chest and her elbow to her body. Now there's no pass here that I can do because the pass box is closed, right? I call it the pass box because of watching baseball, the strike zone. It's the same thing. It's like a box. That's how I want you to think about passing the guard. Okay, so stand up, please. Okay, so when I'm here, let's first go on this side so they can see my leg. When I'm here and she's holding the collar, she's gonna step over and go to the knee cut. Both her knees are gonna be pinching together like so. This is why I take advantage of the belly button. Because both her knees are pinching together, her weight is equally placed in her butt because she's pinching her knees. I'm gonna grab the collar. Instead of pulling my head up and lifting my hips where she's gonna put more pressure on me, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put my neck on the floor. I'm gonna try to put my De La Riva hook in here. Let's change sides. I'm gonna think about what I can frame with this leg, because step over my leg. No, yeah, you're here. You're here. I'm gonna try to either do this or De La Riva the leg if I can, like so. If I can get my De La Riva hook in, it's gonna give me an extra frame that I can keep her leg back a little bit. If I can't, I'm just gonna put the side of my foot and do the same thing. Something framing her leg, okay?
I'm going to pull her shoulder down just a little bit because I want to put more weight on her butt. The more weight that's on her butt, the more I'll be able to move my body. You see? Because the more weight's on her legs. Put your weight on your arms now. The more weight that's on, no, like just a little. The more weight that's on her arms, the less I'll be able to move my body. But bring your foot up, please. Yeah. The more weight that's on her arms, the less I'll be able to move my body. My hand is going to frame right in front of her leg like so. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be framing. I'm going to bring my knee to my chest. And when I bring my knee to my chest, it's going to be a De La Riva hook that I'm going to place like so. Here. You see, keep my leg trapped. This is what happens. Look, I just gave her a dilemma. So come back. For her to keep my leg trapped, she has to put all her weight on her legs, right? But the more weight she puts on her legs, the more I can back up. The more I can back up because she's putting all her weight on her legs. If you watch the first part of the De La Riva system, I teach how to get my foot out, how to move my body back when the foot's higher than my hip. This is the same concept. For her to keep my leg in, she has to pinch her knees. So lay down, please. Let me explain so they can understand that. So I'm here, I stepped over. Bring your knee to your chest and take it up. For her to do this, now take it up. Now take it up. Okay, so now all my weight's on my legs if I want to keep her leg from coming out. But now she can put her head on the floor and back up. You see? Because I kept her knee on the floor. Now bring your knee to your chest. You see? That's what's happening in this scenario here. So come up, please. So if you see, I'm giving her two concepts and I'm playing with them both back and forth. I'm trying to take my leg out, so let's just do it without you trapping my leg. I'm here. You step over, and I'm here. I push, I take my leg out. All I do to take my leg out is this. I just put the De La Riva hook in, which I should be able to do, especially if her weight's on her upper body. I just do this. One, knee to chest. Knee to chest, foot in the center of her stomach, right? So now, don't let me take my leg out. Pinch your knees. You see, I can't take my leg out now, right? Because I can't take my leg out, all I do is this. I keep the U-grip, I frame her shoulder, I frame her ankle. I back up. 1, 2. I get my foot here. So if you see what I'm doing, I try to take my foot out. Knee to chest, foot out. So one is this. She's here. She steps over my leg. I bring my knee in my chest. I back up, I put my foot on her stomach. You see? Once I put my foot on her stomach, and something I feel is every time her weight's on her upper body, she can't really stop my De La Riva hook from coming in. You see? So when she puts her weight on her legs, now put your weight on your butt. You see, it's harder for me to put the De La Riva in. So now it's easier for me to back up. Now my foot goes to her stomach. I go here. So go on this side. I'm here. She's here. She steps over. She gets to this spot here, right? So I try to take my leg out, bringing my knee to my chest, connect my foot to her stomach, and now look. Now I can bring her on top of me, letting her body sit on me. Look. Once I get here, I punch her and look the other way. Now I'm in basic berimbolo. 1. I'm in basic come up sweep. 2. I'm in alternative sweep. 3. You see, so we have all our options once we get to that spot. But the concept I need you to understand, which was from the first part of the De La Riva system, if she wants to keep my leg trapped, she's not going to be able to control me from moving my head back. If she wants to keep my leg trapped, she won't be able to control me from moving back. If she doesn't keep my leg trapped, that means I can bring my knee out. You see? So again, I'm here. I'm De La Riva. I'm in this spot here. She steps over. Okay, right now her weight's on her legs, so chop my leg. Chop my leg back here. Yep. Now look. But chop my leg. Yes. Let me teach them how to chop the leg. Lay down, please. How you chop the leg on top is like this. You step over and you bring your knees right to this part of the leg. Now take your leg out. So all I'm doing with my legs is I pinch my knees right below her knee, like so. So when she's here, I pinch my knees. Now take it out. You see, this is how I'm able to keep the leg trapped. But because all my weight's on my legs, back up now. Now bring your knee to your chest. Every time she'll be able to do that. So I'm here. This is the best side. Yep, we're here. She steps over. She traps my leg on the lower part. Yes. Now I cannot take out my leg. Look, I can't take out my leg. So because of that, I just frame her body. I put my hand on her ankle and I move my head back. 1, 2. Now look, keep my leg trapped. And so I'm here. So take my leg out. Don't chop my leg this time. Just keep it right in your upper body. So she's here. Make a grip on my knee, please. She's here. So now I see there's space for me. All I do is this. If her weight's on her upper body, I can put the De La Riva hook in. I can bring my knee to my chest, and I move my shoulders back now like this because I have the De La Riva in. So I can move her body back to put the foot on her stomach like this. Now I can flip her again. You see? Now I can go basic Berimbolo. So I'm giving you two options here. The person on top is either going to be like this. They're either going to be like this, you see, or like this. You see, it's either or. There's only two worlds that they could give me here. If they're like this, it's easy to put the De La Riva in because my weight's on my arms. So now she can bring her knee to her chest and connect her foot to the belly button. Or if I chop, now it's easy for her to put her head to the floor and back up. Now she can bring her knee to her chest. You see?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a difference with this whole replacing thing, and if instead of having their arm here, they have it on the leg?
Yeah, because I have no control of your upper body here. Look how, if I'm like this, it's way easier for you to just bring your knees to your chest.
So you react the same if the person's reacting by pushing
If
down?
I get over one leg, I need some upper body control. If I have both hands on her legs, I have no control of her body. So, sit up, please. So if I'm here, and she's holding both my legs and she steps over, she has no control of my upper body. It's way easier for me to back up and go here than if she's holding my collar and she steps here. You see, because now she's controlling my upper body, I feel like she's pinning me down a little bit. You see? So that is why, look, first, what do you see here? She has her weight on her upper body. What does that mean? I'll be able to put the De La Riva in. Now I could use my De La Riva frame as here, knee to chest, and bring my body back. Once I get here, it's over, you see.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference if the person's grabbing like higher or lower on the collar or even the belt?
No, it makes no difference. The more higher you grab, the more you're leaning, the easier it is for me to take my body out.
Let's say if I was here.
So look, I just use my knee like this, and I move my body back. I move my body back. I
So
get
same
here.
thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And guys, notice, when I pull down, when she steps over, could you got the collar again? When she steps over here, and I'm grabbing the De La Riva, how I back up, I'm making her lean more and more on her butt here, right? Because now once I get here, I can make her sit on the leg like this. So I want you to pay attention to my collar grip. When you're here, let me switch these. And we're here. She steps over the leg. When I'm here, I'm not just pushing. If I push, look how weak my hips get. I'm pulling the collar down to her body like this. I'm pulling the collar down. So I put her weight on her butt. Because the more weight on her butt, the less pressure that's on me. So now I can back up more. I can back up more. So what I'm doing is this. I'm putting all her weight on her body. Because the more weight that goes on her legs, the more I can move back. Remember how I explained previously that the more weight that's on her legs, the easier it is for me to move my body back, right? So that's what I'm essentially doing here. I'm putting all her weight on her body. So with the collar grip this time, how it's working is I'm grabbing and I'm pushing down her weight like this. Because I want all her weight on her hips. The more weight on her hips, the less pressure on my body. And the more I can move. That's all I'm trying to do now. So bring your leg high. Step over. I pull down her shoulders like this. I pull down her. Could you put your weight on your butt? Yeah, like this. Now all I do is this. And now I back up. Now I back up. You see? And I flex my foot. I flex this foot like a De La Riva. Always. Knee to chest. foot to the belly button. Once I place the foot on the belly button, I can now lift, connect, and now look where I am. I'm back where we were before. I bring her up, I make her look the other way, and she flips. Now I can get here, I can tack the back. You see? So, this is just a concept that you have to understand how to put both pieces together. We're either going to be able to, initially their weight's going to be on their arms, okay, then that's fine. You're going to be able to take your knee out every time. Because like I explained, whenever the weight's on their arms, you're able to pummel your leg. So every time a weight's on our arm, grab my leg and put your weight on your arm. Yeah, like a pummel, right? And now put your weight on your legs. You see, it's harder to pummel a little bit, right? But now look, I can do it. Now I can pummel. You see? So this is the concept I'm playing in De La Riva. Because her weight's on her legs, because you put your weight on your arms again. I just want them to see this. So look, every time her weight's on her arms, I could do this. Bring my knees to my chest, like this. 1, 2. Every time their weight's on their legs, bring your legs in. Yes. Now it's harder to pummel, right? But look what I could do. I could frame, I could frame, I could frame, I could frame. Now look. I alleviate all the pressure because look where her legs are again. You see, that's all I'm doing here. I'm bringing her legs back. Then once I bring her legs back, I'm able to do all my attacks again. So when I'm in De La Riva, and I'm here, and she steps over, I'm bringing her foot higher so she has more pressure on me. Here, look, her weight's on her upper body, right? So all I can do is this. I bring my knee to my chest, now I can put my foot back because she has nothing stopping me. Once she uses her knee to stop me, I push down her shoulders, look. Now look, 1, 2, foot to the stomach. You see how it's exactly the same concept that I'm doing in both spots. It's the same guard concepts, and you do this everywhere. You're just doing it now in De La Riva. And then once we connect the foot to the belly button, look how I'm able to sit her body on top of it. Look, look, look. And if you wanted to move to other spots, look how I can go to all the different spots here to signal like X. You see, there's so many different connections I could do with loading my opponent like this. And that's why De La Riva is awesome, because you can connect to so many different guards when you're playing De La Riva. You see, so I could connect here, I lift, I punch her down, I flip her. She gets here. I could go basic berimbolo, or I could sweep. Okay, so again, I'm here. So I want you to understand the collar grip. That is what I think is going to be a little weird for you guys. This is a new style of collar grip. I already explained, so go on your knees, please. The collar grip. This way. I already explained the collar grip. When she comes into me, it's a frame. My fist is on the collarbone, right? Then there's also the collar grip where I make her look the other way, right? To misdirect her spine, right? Then I explained there's a collar grip where I pull the shoulders to me like this. Now, this is another way I use the collar grip. I pull it down and I hang like this. So instead of misdirecting or doing this, I'm now pushing her posture though. I'm pushing her butt down like this. I pull down and I push. I'm thinking in my brain that I'm pushing her weight to her butt when I'm holding this collar grip. So I'm like this. I'm crunching her weight to her butt because every time her weight's on her butt, I can back up. I can back up. You see, that is how I'm using this collar grip. I'm following our rules of retaining guard that if I can put their weight to their butt, these arms are going to be light. I'm going to be able to move my legs back because then there's an anchor on her legs. Every time there's an anchor on her legs, I can use that to back up, right? So again, stand up please. So that's how I'm using the collar grip, guys. I'm just pulling down her body with it. So then her weight goes to her legs. So I can back up. The second I back up, I'll have the space to take out my leg, knee to chest, place my foot right on the belly button, and then we can flip her. Okay, so we're here. I'm in this spot here. She steps over, she's here. Look, all I'm doing is this. I'm holding the collar grip, I'm framing the collarbone. I'm pushing down and I'm framing, putting all her weight on her butt with this collar grip. Now look what I'm gonna do. Because her weight's on her butt, I'm just gonna use my back leg as a hook. Either side foot or De La Riva hook in. Now I back up, now I back up. Using my other hand on her leg. So I just go like this. 1, here, here. Foot to this chest, look. Keep your leg pinched now though. Look how even here, because I backed up so much, her foot is below my hip now, look. Look how easy this is for me to take this out. I just use the De La Riva, I bring her foot to her chest, look, now look. Now I can flip her. You see? I want you guys to understand how each collar grip is so important to use. And it's just following our rules that we learned before. Pushing down the collar puts the weight on the legs. I'm able to use that as an anchor to back up. You see? And then even, no matter how strong she pinches her legs, we're following our rules of De La Riva. If her foot is not in front of my body, she has no upper body control. What does that mean? That means I could easily flip her because she doesn't have the upper body control. So when I'm here, now I want them to see this side. When you step over, I get here. So I push down the collar, so then pinch your knees though, on my leg. I push down the collar, so then her weight's on her butt. Now look, I'm just gonna bring your foot higher though. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up because there's an anchor. Now I put the De La Riva hook in, look. So now look, keep my leg trapped. She can't because look where her foot is. You see where her foot is? And look what I'm doing with the collar. I'm just framing the collarbone. And then I pull down her weight to her butt. That's all I'm doing here. Now I back up, I back up. So bring your leg high again. So this will teach you guys, you should probably just practice this drill also when you're here, look. So bring your foot higher, you step over, you're pinching my leg. Pinch my leg, please. Here. So my leg is hard, I can barely take it out, right? I grab the collar, I push down all the way to her butt. I do this, 1. Now once I get here, look where her foot is. If I cannot remove my knee, keep your knee tight, yeah. If I cannot remove my knee, she feels like it's wrong to do this because look what I can do. I just put the De La Riva hook and keep my foot tight. Look, now I bring my knees to my chest. I pretend that my leg is stuck, it doesn't matter, I just bring my knees to my chest. Now my foot comes out. You see, it's impossible for her to keep it there. Now I can flip her. Okay, so again, I'm here. You step over. I get here. Bring your foot high, please. My leg comes out, fine. So pinch my knees. Yes. Now I cannot remove my leg. So what am I going to do? I just anchor, back up. Put the De La Riva hook in now again. If I cannot, I stay here and look what I can do with my knee. Because the fact I can't put it in means I can circle my leg. Look. If I can't put it in, look, I can put it in now. So take out the pressure of your knee, like open your knee a little bit. If I can't put in the De La Riva, that means her knee is open. What does that mean? I can remove this. Pinch your knees. If I can't remove this, look what I can do. I can put the De La Riva hook in. I can back up more. I can back up more with the De La Riva. You get a chest, look. My foot goes right to the belly button. Now I can flip her. So you see, guys, how I'm combining all the concepts you just learned previously together. And how this concept will be the same everywhere. When you're playing half guard, when you're playing knee shield. All these concepts apply everywhere. It's so simple, right? If she's pinching her legs, she has to keep her weight all on her legs. Now I can back up. If her leg opens a little bit, now I can put the De La Riva hook in. Now I can back up with the De La Riva hook. You see? Because I can move her legs back. Following all the rules we just learned previously, right? So again, I'm here. She steps over. So her legs are pinched, right? I'm trying to remove this. I can't. I can put the De La Riva hook in. You see? Because the angle of her knee is in De La Riva. If her knees are open, look, I can't put the De La Riva hook in. What does that mean? I can back up. I can back up. My foot goes here. Right? Now once it goes here, look. Look how I can put the De La Riva hook in. Now I lift her up and I push it down. So you see how I'm making this bait. I'm not forcing one or the other. I'm giving her the option, okay? I'm like, okay, you want to keep your knees pinched? Then I'm going to go here. If you're going to keep your knees open, I go here. And that's how we do every position, as you're seeing. We're systematically following our rules of De La Riva, following our rules of guard. We're giving them one, they give us the other. You see, that's all we're doing here. And you're starting to notice, I believe there might be a few more ways I play with the collar grip, but this is a new way that you're going to learn how to play with the collar grip. It's the anchor collar grip. So you're grabbing cross collar and I'm pushing her weight to her butt. So that's how I want you to think of it. So go on your knees, please. So I'm holding the collar grip. I'm pulling down and I'm putting her weight on her butt here. All her weight is going to her butt. I'm not pushing up, I'm not pulling, I'm just pulling her weight to her butt. Because I want to anchor myself to back up, Okay, so stand up, please. So I'm here. She steps over to belly button. Yes. So look, my knee could come out, right? If my knee could come out, what does that mean? That means De La Riva is going to be difficult to do. I'm just going to frame with my hand on her leg. I'm going to frame the collar. I'm going to put the anchor grip a little bit. I'm just going to have a side foot. Whenever I don't have De La Riva, I have a side foot on her leg. Now I'm just going to bring my knee to my chest. Look, 1. Keep my leg. Now try to keep my leg in. She can't. Because she's not pinching her legs. If she wants to pinch her legs, on my leg, look, I can't take it out now, right? So now instead of the side foot, I'm going to go De La Riva hook. Now I'm going to do the anchor. 1, 2, look. She can't keep it in because now I can back up. Every time she puts her weight on her legs, it's an anchor. I make the anchor collar grip. I put the De La Riva hook in. I back up. My foot comes out. Once the foot reaches the middle of her stomach, the belly button, it's on. I can flip it. Okay, so one more time. I'm here. She steps over. Look. So stay there. Go back to the first. Just hold my knee. Yep. Okay. I cannot put the hook in, right? I'm going to frame my foot on the side of her body like this. 1. Now I just do this. Knee to chest. She can't keep it in, right? I'm going to frame her leg, anchor. Look how when I push down her hip, I'm hammering my foot down on the side of her body.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. If I grab, let's say, this part of the leg and I go in like this, does this make a difference?
If you put your shoulder forward,
Yes.
I don't really feel it does because look, I can back up more. You see?
Okay.
So but do you have balance like that? If all your weight's on your shoulder, you have 0 balance.
Okay. I was just curious.
Look how easy it is for me to pummel if you go there. That's why you have to grab the knee. If you're here, look how easy, I feel like it's even easier. Here, you can at least keep my knee in place, right?
And what if I'm here?
If you're on the leg like this, I just frame and I take my leg out. You have no control of my leg.
Okay.
Because now you can't control my leg. Look how my leg just comes out. You see? So grab the leg again, please. So here, the knee's open. I just go side foot, I anchor her leg. Look how I put her weight on her legs. I back up, foot on her stomach. Now I can flip. Come back, pinch your legs. Like here, I cannot remove my leg. You see? So I go De La Riva. I put the anchor. I back up, my knee comes to the chest. Back and forth, I'm doing these two. So I want you when you're drilling to notice the correlation between the two things. And you're gonna go back and forth between the two things. That is what's going to teach you to understand, okay? Are they keeping my legs pinched? No. If they're not keeping your legs pinched, what does that mean? De La Riva is gonna be hard, side foot. Do the collar grip, the new collar grip you learned, the anchor collar grip. And then we can hammer, move our body back, belly button, flip. Okay, I'm here. They're pinching their legs. What does that mean? I could go De La Riva, anchor grip. Move back, move back. Oh, the foot is now behind my body. Knee to chest, foot on the belly button, flip. Those two things are gonna make this position perfect. But the grip that's going to make you realize like how to move here is the new collar grip with the anchor. You see, so now you're learning all these different ways I play with this cross collar grip that alleviate pressure for me and make it easier for me to utilize what I'm trying to do. And it's just, again, the simple concept of if the upper body's forward, you could circle your leg, right? If they put their weight on their legs, you can't. But what does that mean you can do? It's an anchor that you could back up. That's all we're doing in guard. That's always what we're doing. If I'm here and she's holding my legs and she puts all the weight on her upper body, all I do is knees to chest, circle. Bring your legs in. Now I can't circle, right? But look what I can do. Because her weight's on her legs, she's squatting and her weight's on her legs. Look, all I do is this. I can back up now because I have her weight on her legs to back up with. And because I can back up now, look what I can do now. Because her body's back again. That's all I'm doing in De La Riva. And the only thing you have to pay attention to is the frames and fort. We are not letting go of our frames. If we lose that De La Riva hook as a frame, we go to the side foot, and that becomes our frame on our fort, right? We're keeping the pressure on their body, so even though they're over our body, we're going to expose them, and that's how we get to this Tomoe-nage flipping position, okay? So I want you to work this now with both variations, either going to knees closed or knees open. And the person on top is going to be like this. They're here. I bring my foot high. I step over. The first one is like this. My weight's on my shoulders, 1. The second one, I pinch my knees. And now my weight's on my butt, right? And I'm pulling the legs like this, 2. Okay, so that's all you're doing. So again, here. 1, 2. Okay, those are the 2 variations you're going to be working, and the person on bottom is going to be giving you the attacks. And I want you guys to flow here. I want the person on bottom to have this position, study it, and feel, okay, now your weight's on your arms. What does that mean? Okay, now your weight's on your legs. What does that mean? And we're doing the anchor grip, the new collar grip that you anchor their weight to their butt. Okay? So we're gonna work this now, and I want you guys to really brainstorm and flow here. And once you do it on bottom, go to top and feel how your legs change. And how once your weight goes to your butt, the knee comes out every time. We're keeping our frames the whole time. We're following our exact rhythm that we did before, okay? So let's work it.